too many people that like to sit at home and complain and talk about what politicians aren't doing and what they don't have and how jacked up the laws is. And these same people are very slow to react. They slow to get involved. They slow to fight for change. They slow to do things. That's a problem. And it's the same thing when we talk about politics and who has things and who doesn't have things. If we want definite change, we have to fight for it. We can't just talk about how bad the laws is and how jacked up the schools are and how people aren't investing in the communities and families and stuff like that. If we're not going to get involved, nothing's going to change. My name is Brandon Ellington. I'm the 41st District State Representative, and this is my district.
Though you may not drive a great big Cadillac, against the white walls, TV antennas in the back. You may not have a car at all, but remember, brothers and sisters, you can still stand tall. Just be thankful for what you got.
All right. As we take a walk through the community that you're helping put back together, give me some insight. What was your inspiration for, I guess, this journey that you're on?
My inspiration would be the lack of economic development that I seen growing up, lack of viable housing that I seen growing up, the knowledge of the information that I didn't receive in school when I went to college from being a youth is another thing that motivates me, because I don't want the kids to go through the same misinformation that I went through. Impoverished conditions in the so-called urban core or the inner city definitely motivates me, because a lot of this stuff is systematic, it's not accidental, and the only way we're going to address it is systematically. We have to be very strategic in our thought patterns and our planning and the way we attack things.
You know, there's some glorious things happening in Kansas City. We always hear about the murders all the time, but somebody walked into our office today and asked us a question: when was the last time point there was a murder? And we all had to sit around and think about it. And we found out there has not been one since we had the 3-on-3 basketball tournament here in Kansas City, where the community leaders came out, our state rep came out and played. That in itself needs to be highlighted in Kansas City. You know, we always highlight the bad, but there's some good stuff. The young men, the young women in Kansas City are not killing each other. They're not animals, they're not savages, they're not doing it. They've learned to work together. And that's what needs to be duplicated throughout Kansas City. I'm loving it. I don't know about y'all, but I'm happy today.
My name is Reverend Esther Hosendorf, and I am supporting Representative Brandon Ellington for re-election to the Missouri House of Representatives. He'll be representing the 22nd District. When anyone who is a representative of the people does the right thing, it helps everybody. And I know that Brandon Ellington is a person who's going to do the right things. You know, a lot of times, just the presence of right-thinking people doing the right thing at the right time for the right reason, it makes a difference, because people can pick up on that. Folks understand phonies. They know the spirit of a phony. They can't be trusted. But when you have people out there that young people trust, and they know that their word is good, then they become a part of what's going on. In other words, they own it. And that's one of the things I noticed about Representative Ellington. When he's around people, they take ownership of what's going on. And that's what's going to make the difference.
I'm wishing on a star to follow where you are. I'm wishing on to follow what it means. I'm wishing on a star to follow where you are. I'm wishing on a dream to follow what it means. And I wish on all the rainbows that I've seen. I wish on all the people who really dream. And I'm wishing on tomorrow, praying it will come. And I'm wishing on all the loving we've ever done. I never thought I'd see a time when you would be so far away from home.
A lot of the community stuff that you was asking about as far as the cutting of the vacant lots, the cleaning up of the neighborhoods, this is all funded through organizations that me and a couple of individuals started in 1999. Voices of the People, I'm my brother's keeper, GYRL. My mother's actually a founder of Voices of the People too, along with some other individuals I know from the time I was a child. And we funded out of our pockets. No 501(c)(3). Voices of the People is a non-profit, but we don't solicit funds. Everything that we do is for the community, even the free political and legal classes that we do. I've been blessed to work with a lawyer named Paul Pierce who comes out and volunteers his time. And obviously I give him any insight I can in the political arena. We go through state, local, and the reason we do that is so people can understand their political rights, what the political arena is, and also they can understand their legal rights, the proper channels to go through. And that would give us a holistic community, because the more people understand, the more likely they are to get involved in something. When people are non-knowledgeable about something, they tend to stay away from it. So we try to raise the consciousness as much as we can. This garden right here is a garden that Voices of the People, I'm my brother's keeper, GYRL, Consolidated Social Service Works, the Greens, Cultivate Kansas City, and somebody else got together, and we put this garden in for the community to show self-determination. There's no grocery stores around here. So one of the things that we want to be able to provide is fresh fruit, fresh vegetables, and also to show the kids that you don't have to depend on anybody for anything. The house across the street, we actually turned that into a reading and resource center. We got computers and the whole nine coming down. I've been blessed to work with some individuals from the Great Panthers, which has been soliciting computers and getting us materials. So when we open it up, we have enough books, enough CPU units, and for the community.
Sitting back with Brandon Ellington, picking his brain, getting to know a little bit more about the journey he's going through and the progress that he's making. Question I want to ask you, man, is do you believe the same opportunities exist inside the urban core as compared to opportunities outside?
No, access to the opportunities is totally different. We all have the opportunity to go to school and learn, right? If you don't have the same type of textbooks or the same type of curriculum that's being implemented in the schools, you're not going to have the same outcome. The same when you talk about viable community centers or investing in certain neighborhoods or economic development in certain neighborhoods. The opportunity may be available, but the access to the opportunity is everything. Because I have the opportunity to go to college, but I don't have access to get into college, I'm not going to go. So no.
What is it about the urban community that makes you want to empower the people there?
The apathy towards the people in the urban core, the so-called urban core in the inner city, makes me want to fight that much harder for them, because they deserve the same amenities, the same standard as living as somebody that comes from a affluent community. Just because you don't know something doesn't mean that that should be held against you. And that's what makes me fight so hard for people that don't understand what's going on.
All right. What do you see that could be improved upon by the people in the urban community?
More hands-on action. It's one thing to sit back and complain about what's going on and what you don't have. It's another thing to actually fight for what you don't have and to improve the area around you. That's one of the things that would greatly improve the so-called urban core of the inner city. The minute we start working together and we start fighting for universal truths, we start to see everything change. We start to see the way that the laws that have been biased against us, we start to change those. The institutions that aren't being invested in, we start to make sure that the people that are in positions of power invest in those institutions. In particular, the institution that gets funded from taxes, because we all pay taxes.
All right. Well, with what you represent, the work that you do, the people that you know, and the progress that you made, what makes your views or your work different from any other activist or leader from the past, present, or future that's done this or is going to do it? What sets you apart?
Out the gate, I'm not an activist or a leader. I represent the community. I work with people in the community. I don't lead nobody anywhere though. We all have minds, we all have opinions, and I try to work with people. That's what makes me different than the typical person in office that I see, because the typical person that I see believes that they lead people as opposed to that they represent people. I have my own opinions, but my opinions aren't the only thing I'm going to fight for. I fight for the opinions, the collective opinions of my constituents or the people that stay around me. And I'm truly committed to it. That's what makes me different.